All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here. We are live here, actually on Facebook land. I was trying to stream this to TikTok, but I don't have that as my destination. But nevertheless, the show must roll on. And we have a very special episode here, but let me give me 1 second here. Okay, well, I was trying to make it better. But nevertheless, it's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to another exciting episode. I know it says Transformation Greatness Series, but this is Transformation Greatness along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. I'm not sure on what the episode number is because we've been doing so many podcasts. It's just been unreal. And so it looks like our special guest, she actually went dark. I don't know what exactly happened here, but ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a great show. Nevertheless, it looks like that she's coming back. And so with that, boys and girls, thank you once again for tuning in. This is the month of June, but this is going to be a very exciting episode. And I tell you, this is going to be very, very cool. Trying to see what's going on with our guest here. She just went dark all of a sudden, but hopefully she'll come back on. But for those that's tuning in, welcome here. Happy Thursday to everyone. And we're going to have a very exciting show. And if you could do me a favor, if you will, if you're catching this live, put in the hashtag live. Let us all know exactly where you're tuning in from. And if you should happen to catch this on a replay, please, by all means, put in the hashtag replay and let us know as far as where you're at, where you've seen us from, and more importantly, if you gotten great value from the show. So, as my guest is getting everything situated with, allow me to introduce myself. For those that maybe follow me for the first time, my name is Shawn White, and I am the founder and creator of a brand which is called Transformation Greatness, which, by the way, is all about motivating, encouraging, and inspiring the masses. I'm also a radio and TV personality with SBN, the Small Business Network. My brand, Transformation Greatness, it consists of me being as a speaker, a coach, a hypnotherapist practitioner. In addition, as well, I am a mentor and author. I wear many different hats, and on top of that, I have a 9 to 5 job as a maintenance technician. So, with all that being said, all those pleasantries, you didn't come on here just to hear me talk about myself. This is all about our very special guest here. This is our first time, believe it or not, actually doing the podcast. Just to give you a little background on her, and then I'll allow for her to go ahead and tell her story of who she is. Me and her met as far as on TikTok, and I just loved how the way with her content was very motivational. I seen as far as with the variety, the type of content that she was creating, and I was like, wow, that was very, very, very cool. As I've gotten to know Miss Torrie, I realized as far as that she has motivational journals, which I believe that you said is online, and she has a lot of goals and aspirations. And so, with that, this is going to be truly a great thing to really dive in and really learn more about our special guest. Which, ladies and gentlemen, if you can do us a favor with a round of applause, if you will, please go ahead and give it up for Miss Torrie Mason, hailing all the way from the Bucks country, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Welcome to the show, man. Welcome.
Thank you, Sean.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, welcome to another episode here of SBN. I'm sorry, with Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, a Small Business Network podcast. We have a very special guest here, Miss Torrie Mason, hailing all the way from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's dive in, shall we? First off, Miss Torrie, if you can introduce yourself to the listener audience, because I know as far as you have a Facebook account, and I know we mostly hang out at is at TikTok, but many people may not be familiar with you. So if you can just introduce yourself, tell the listener audience of who you are and a little bit of what you do, and let's dive in.
Hi, everyone. Well, my name is Tori. Hey. And as Sean said, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I don't know. I started my journey in entrepreneurship probably around 2020. Like a lot of people I noticed, it's like just had a little inkling to just pursue my own venture. So I was thinking about leaving Wisconsin then, and I decided to stay. And I started Mason Investment. Um, I had another business before then. I forgot about it in 2012. I had my vending business too. Doggone it. And we was like a little mobile visit to carnivals and Juneteenth and the air show, and that was pretty cool for a little bit, but that was short lived. And then I started Mason Investment, and that was my Airbnb. Me and my youngest son kind of had ventured off into that, and we had two locations, but yeah, that was kind of fun. But I was multitasking between work and trying to do that too, and not relying on other companies to help. Now that I'm older, it's like I could have hired, housekeeping and all of that instead of trying to do it myself. But you live and learn. And I also had a drop shipping business called my drop shipping business name was Elegant Eggs. And I pretty much just catered like those egg chairs, those egg outside lunch patio sets, anything that was shaped like an egg. That's what the Elegant Eggs came in at. But I don't know. And then recently, since I transitioned to working at home, is when I decided to do my CEO journey. And I just believe that, I don't know, I have my own routines that I like to do myself, far as motivational and affirmations and, exercise routines and things of that nature. And I just thought my way of giving back to the world would probably just to start with just motivating people. It's free, so I always give out smiles daily at work, so I might as well give out smiles, through ebooks and, through my motivational journals. And well, I don't know. That's what kind of got me on the TikTok mission. I really wasn't a social media person. My youngest son, once again, made me get on social media. He's like, "Mom, you missing the world. Get on there and see what's going on." And at that time, he was a rapper, and him and my oldest son was both rapping. And my godson, unfortunately, he passed away. He was a comedian too on Facebook. And luckily, I was able to see that before, his untimeliness, but due to cancer, But my sons, I was able to enjoy them too. And I don't know, I just started getting on TikTok, and it was a lot different than Instagram and Facebook. No shade, because I still get on both. And I looked at TikTok like a business venture. I didn't even think of it like that when I first got on there. Just post a picture here and there, and then I started hearing the stories and seeing like-minded people, like myself, who's on similar spiritual missions, and it was uplifting just to see just a different variety of styles of how you could implement your mission. And I thought it was very empowering. So I don't know. I just continue to strive on TikTok and you know meet beautiful people like yourself, who out here trying to help people in the world too. It's a great place to network and and grow. So I just love it.
1,000%, 1,000%. And let me ask you this: during your experience, as far as with when you do your content, as far as on TikTok, like your
Mhm.
motivational content and videos, what have you discovered primarily, especially on TikTok? I know we're on Facebook, but how
Mhm.
has your journey been from when you first started to where you're at now? What are some of the things and ways that you learned? Like, what were some of the nuances, or was it all positive? What was it, the majority negative, and then it became positive? Share that with us, if you will.
Well, I have to say 90% of my journey on TikTok was positive. I really can't complain. I even made a video. I called myself evolving, but I really feel like I did evolve since I, became my mission on TikTok. It's like I don't know. I never really seen myself venturing no further than what I do because I'm older. I'm not off into a lot of the things that goes on out here nowadays. I'm kind of secluded into myself. I joke about that all the time on there, but even with the younger crowd, it's like it's really they're brilliant. They're just really trying to emphasize and they just know a lot more things than what I feel like we did in that time because I wasn't we didn't even have words for a lot of the things that went on back in our days, let alone be able to emphasize. And I always felt like growing up with Southern parents, you couldn't even talk about what happened in the household, let alone, take it to the streets and broadcast it to the world. And I don't know, they're a lot braver, I have to say, but I do have my negative moments, even though I met a lot of friends on TikTok too. Shout out to all my TikTok family. Y'all know I love y'all. But on my lives, it's just shocking this to hear people come on here and say the things they say. And, don't nobody get banned for none of that stuff, I feel like. But you get people on there like myself who try to have positive messages to the world, and they're the ones who's being banned, getting shadow bans for trying to be positive and try to preach the word and try to promote positivity and good mental health and all of that love in the world. And it's so sad that I don't know, the shadow
So,
side. Hmm.
so for the listening audience, and
Hmm.
because you mentioned shadow ban, so many people for the first
Hmm.
time maybe watch this and have no idea on what that means. Can you explain to the listening audience what do you mean by shadow ban?
Well, shadow ban is when TikTok to me felt like you said something that was not in line with
So
what they
controversial,
feel. Yeah, controversial in a way, and you won't even know it, but you are getting less views pushed out to the public because they shadow banned you. They took away your privileges and took away the viewers to see your contact. And you don't even know until it's like you see your numbers just snailing. It's like you got 20, 30, 40 under 200 viewers, and it's been a week. And it's like, and then it takes somebody else that maybe that on TikTok to be like, girl, you must have been shadow banned. I ain't seen you. And I'm like, no, I've been here.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I know with each platform they have like something called community standards, in
Mm-hmm.
which anytime you set up an account, more times than not, because I know I didn't. More times than not, when I was setting up my accounts, I wasn't paying attention to the community standards, right? It's so much you have to take into account, right? And it's very interesting that you can get in your words shadow banned for something, and it can be just strictly positive, but yet it be so much negative garbage, and yet they get thousands and thousands of thousands of likes. That
Yes.
it just goes to show you on what kind of world that we're actually in.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this much from experience, from doing this now for about 14 years, and especially with online, is that people are going to be people, right? The platforms are the platforms, but once that you find your groove or your niche, so to speak, it's all about just being consistent. It's all about really using this platform to be like, hey, I have a message. I have something in which I want to say, which I believe is important and vital, and I just want to express that. And if
True.
you do that with consistency, I from someone, trust me, that when I started, I was getting crickets. I wasn't getting nobody. So where I'm at now I'm able to build,
Yes.
a name. But even then, I'm still not even close to where I want to be. So the point in which I'm getting at is this, Tori, is that you just keep on going. You keep on going, you keep on going, and you don't stop. It's just a matter of you just being creative and really finding as far as with your audience on what they like, what truly interests them, right?
True. True.
Because because when you can satisfy your audience and of course now you
Hmm.
know, providing like if your brand, just like you mentioned, is all about motivational, content, then be that person. Be the best person that you can be, providing the motivational content. You did mention as far as that you have the journals, which I believe is online. Go ahead
Yes.
and talk to us about that. Talk to us about share that.
All right. Well, I do have a few series of motivational journals. I do have a few more that'll be coming out soon that I've been working hard on. But mine's is like I have money affirmation journal. I have a sleep diary for the ones who are interested in tracking your progress through, sleeping patterns and visions. Because I feel like I'm a visionary too. So, just the visions you have, and you just need to jot those down first thing. And then I also have a exercise daily routine where you track your progress and you even write down your blood pressure and things like that, just to keep toll of your progress through your workouts. And then I just have a regular motivational self-care journal as well for it's like a 30-day challenge too that I have inside of there to help motivate you and help you through the breathing processes and help you through documenting your motivational journey as well, affirmations daily, things of that nature. So it's things that I like to implement for myself daily. So I just
So
feel like it's something I just want to share my version with the world.
very interesting here. You mentioned no, and you know what? That's all fantastic. I know individuals that have that as well, which is
Mm-hmm.
definitely awesome. But you mentioned also too a sleep journal. I've
Yeah.
never heard of that. Now, what
Yeah.
inspires you to create a sleep journal? Share that with us, please.
Well, I don't know if anyone else have vivid dreams like I do. I just feel like my dreams wakes me up at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
I wake up praying. I don't know. Some days it just calls me, and
Okay.
sometimes when I wake up, I have these. I feel like they like interpretations. It's just I don't know. It's just spiritual to me. So I just feel like I need to be take a note, of what's
Okay.
going on and what's being told and what's being foreseen. And it's kind of funny because once you read back on some of your journals and to the present,
Right.
it'll shock you. It's like, wow, it's like watching your transition happen step by step. It's a beautiful thing. And I always had vivid dreams since I was younger, so I always
Okay.
feel like I should just Wow. And that's another thing I just want to share because I don't know if anyone else feel like that. So, it's just nice
Absolutely.
to be on the journey and have something concrete, that's like, okay, well, let me track this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things of being a visionary, and I can relate to that as well because I am a visionary, is
Mhm.
that when you are able to document the journey, right? You mentioned as far as that you have many different types of journals. So, in
Mhm.
terms of the sleep journal, and I like that because when you really start to, really put that down on paper and you come back to it, say, for instance, like in a month or 3 months or 6 months or even a
Yes.
year, and it's like, wow, like, hmm. But another cool thing about that is that it allows, well, I know as far as for myself, when
Yeah.
I look into that, it I'm just gonna say it caused me to start going down a rabbit hole. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. And I wanna
Sometimes
yeah,
it do.
and I want to learn so much more about that, right? And really
Mhm.
dive into that because I'm also a student of the human mind and human behavior and why
Yeah,
we
you
think
said you a
certain thoughts.
hypnotherapist, which is
Correct,
amazes
correct,
me. I
correct.
commend you.
So Thank you. So with that being said, as you being a visionary, describe to us as far as what do you see as far as your short-term goals with your brand and business? Like, for an example, short-term could be anywhere between 1 to 3 years, for an example.
Yes. Well, short term goal for me, what I see is travel. I see myself exploring new things and welcoming new adventures, because I'm a kind of secluded kind of person. I'm a creature of habit. So I'm usually the type of person that I would do things every day by the book, like routine, and I'm content. I don't knock nothing, but since I've been doing my CEO vibe, it's just made me just bloomed out of a cocoon or something. I just feel like I'm ready to fly and take flight and explore like a newborn baby, kind of scenario. I'm like, I just feel refreshed, because I already got peace in my life because my kids is grown and gone, and
Okay.
no
Okay.
complaints on that, but it's time for Tori to do Tori. So that's what I feel like CEO is doing for me. It's like, okay, you want to be the boss? You gotta walk the walk of a boss. You can't just sit there and just say that, you gotta take action every single day. That's what a CEO would do. They would take action every single day, and make things connect, and I'm not connected. I want to be connected, and I think that's what it's doing for me. It's like that rebirth, it's like it's time to get up, it's time to get going, it's time to put them feet on the pavement. And I can't just talk about it. I can't just talk the talk. I gotta walk the walk too. So.
Absolutely. Thousand
Hmm.
percent. 1,000%. And what would some of your long-term visions or goals be for CEO Vibe?
Yeah, I would like to expand it. I would like to have more deep content related information inside my journal. Because when I first started those, it's like me beginning to crawl. I was just getting started. I didn't know how to put a book together. I didn't know how to do none of this stuff. I thank God for YouTubes and all that stuff, because there's a lot of people on there like Journey with the Hamptons, and a couple other people I like to watch consistently on there, and it teaches me things that I would never know, like Earn Your Leisure. Them my dudes too, because they the ones who teach me how to do stock marketing. Another thing I
Mm,
like to do too.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I think as an entrepreneur, we're always finding ourselves ways in terms of like growth, right? You mentioned as far as with like market trading, which I believe, in spite of what may be going on, in spite of what people may say, I think that's a great skill to have because what it does, it allows for you to set up that source of income. Uh-oh, I think we lost her. And as she's coming back here, I just want to say hello to everybody in the audience. Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode here of Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. This is episode 442, and we have here Torrie Mason, the founder of CEO Vibe. I just want to acknowledge as far as our listener audience here. So we have here Miss Ladoris Romley in the house. Welcome, welcome. I hope I'm saying your last name correctly. I do apologize if I butchered it. We have here Chrissy Williams Harris from Excellence. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we also have Princess Brown was watching. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we see that you are definitely back with us. So
So.
excellent again. No, that's fine. This is our very special guest here, Torrie Mason. So we're about
Okay.
to wrap things up here in the next 5 minutes. So I want to ask you a question. So you mentioned earlier that you want to be able to expand and grow. And I think this question is more so because I'm just a hypnotherapist practitioner, it's just force to have it. What
Hmm.
do you think would be some of your Let me see. Do you feel like that you have any kind of constraints or any challenges that's prohibiting you from really taking that next level, like you mentioned earlier, as far as your short term goals?
Oh no, I don't feel like I have anything that's stopping me. I always feel like the sky is the limit every day. I can't help it. I don't know. God is good. That's all I can say. I done had my low points, but I don't know. I don't think about low. I only think about high vibes. So yeah.
Indeed, indeed. Can you see yourself like coaching others as well, like perhaps creating a chorus,
Yeah.
seeing clients?
Yeah, actually, me and my brother did talk about trying to start like a staffing agency. But, I also just see myself probably like if I did get some farmland, I would implement that into daily living with everybody, like in my community. I just want everybody to grow. I want people to eat good. I want us to live good. I want our kids to grow. I want to see my grandkids. No, I probably won't, but in my mind, I want to. I want to just see everybody prosper. Cause
Absolutely, absolutely,
only
absolutely,
love in the world. Love, love.
absolutely, absolutely. So let me ask you this as well, because pretty soon, as far as you're going to be joining our organization and actually be part of the podcast team. How do you feel? Like, are you
I
excited about that? What can
am
people
super amped, Sean. I'm amped.
so what can people expect from Tori when she starts to do her podcast?
Well, I think another thing to piggyback off of what to expect with the CEO vibe, I was thinking about incorporating that into my podcast where I can maybe go out and interview entrepreneurs and those who are successful and those who are still on their mission like myself. Everybody is not successful and sometimes it takes multiple tries to get to where you want. But all of it is just that's where the vibe come in at the CEO vibe. Just trying to make it all together and make it mesh so we can come together as a community and make ourselves stronger. I see it happening. So,
Yeah, a thousand percent. It's something that I train like my other partners and those that's aspiring, as far as like to even do podcasts. Yeah, absolutely. I
mhm,
mean, you can either do a podcast solo about yourself,
mhm,
or you can go out there and interview people as far as like in the stores or wherever you're at,
mhm,
when you're outdoors or doing something just like this. So
mhm.
it has multiple benefits to it, but
Yeah.
it's all about reaching out to the people. It's really about, for us, especially here at SBN, we love individuals where, yeah, if you're successful in your business, yeah, that's great
Mhm.
and fantastic. But we like those as far as that's in the journey, right? Those that they can show, like as far as the beginning stages, they can show like the highs and lows of business, right? When you're
Exactly.
when you're successful, most of those entrepreneurs, from what I have found out, is like, yeah, they'll tell you some of the highs and lows, but they're really not going to focus more so on the lows because they're already up high and their
Right.
circle of influence is very, very high. So they're more focused about the now. Here, we want to give the small business individual the opportunity to really shine. And basically, you're you know, on the ground with your
Mhm.
boots, so to speak, and you're
Yeah.
going through the journeys, and you're trying to figure out this thing called life and entrepreneurship because it goes hand in hand. So those are the people in which that we love because we have noticed over the course of time those individuals that have been a part of us, there has been exponentially growth,
Yes.
right? Not
Mhm.
only not only personally, but professionally as well. So it definitely works, and that's the reason why, like, especially with the podcast series, it gives individuals an opportunity to really be able to step outside their comfort zone. You know, I mean, you spoke about that, and really
Yes.
now I be seeing them, and they may not be with us, but I see them just like literally just going out there, just like literally being consistent, doing podcasts, and absolutely loving it, and getting opportunities, you know, elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. But the most important thing is starting with with belief within yourself. That's first and foremost. We
Amen.
are we are almost out of time here, Tori.
Okay.
How can others get a hold of you if they want to find out more information or even work with you or even collaborate with you? How can others get a hold of you?
Oh, sure. They can reach me at CEO Vibe 777 at gmail.com. Or they can connect with me on TikTok as well at QT Torrie 99. I'm on Facebook too. It's all QT Torrie. So either way I go, you'll catch me. See what's up.
Excellent. I would just recommend, Tori, after we're done, definitely just make sure that you put all your information in the comments on how others can
Yes.
go ahead and get a hold of you. And
Yes.
ladies
And
and
I'll share
ladies,
my links too at Amazon for the books. So
absolutely, most certainly, most certainly. So, ladies and gentlemen, our newest member in terms of the podcast team is Tori Mason, founder of CEO Vibe. Trust me, you're gonna be seeing a whole lot more of her, and she's gonna be bringing those awesome vibes and motivational content, in which I'm really looking forward to seeing this as well.
I'm so
So,
happy to join the team. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anything else? Any lasting words you have for the listening audience before we
Yes,
go ahead and
thank
sign off?
you, Small Business Network, for this beautiful opportunity. Ah, man, just look forward to growing together. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So
sir.
with with that, family, this concludes episode 442 of Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. I definitely thank you so much, Tori, for coming on here and really just sharing us a piece about yourself. And we're looking forward for bigger and greater things coming from you and your brand
Thank
as well. So,
thank
with
you.
that being said, family, if what we stated on here either motivated, transformed, or inspired at least one person, and may God be the glory, and we take no credit for absolutely none of it. Until
Mm,
then, you're all amazing. Thank you so much
yes.
for your time. Be on the lookout as far as for this Saturday, because with SB and the Small Business Network, it's going to be airing live on Facebook at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check your local listings. Until then, we are out of here. Until the next
Mm.
episode. Peace and love, family. Thank you.
Bye.